afternoon, and welcome back to Tea Time with Afternoon Social. And today is Try It Thursdays. I'm Teresa Lauterbach, your host. And with us again today, we have Sasha Star Robertson. She's been with us all week, and you have to go back to the other couple of videos. She's had some great information about her planner that she wrote, and then she had a wonderful story she shared with us about being an adoptive mom. And now today, she's going to give us some tips and something to try ourselves with time management. And she actually has, it's called 7 Time Management Hacks for a Mom's Life. So she's just busy. And I'm sure she's got some wonderful hacks for us today. And we're going to get right into it. And good afternoon again, Sasha. And I'm going to turn it over to you, and let's hear about those 7 hacks that you have for all these busy moms.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I'm so excited to share about this today. It's one of the things that I like to talk about in retreats. I try to hold quarterly retreats for moms just to give us some space. Like, that's one thing moms really need, is just some space and some time. And so these 7 hacks to mom lifetime management are something that I came up with probably about 6 months or so ago, and just wrote down like what really helps me keep my focus and keep my center. And so number 1 is to know where your time is going and keep an activity log. I think so many of us, when we think about keeping track of something and where it's going, we definitely do this with our money. At least we should be, right? We should be keeping a budget and telling our money where to go instead of just throwing it out the door and then saying, oh, wait, where did it all go? But not often do we think about our time in terms of this as well, that our time is limited, just like our income a lot of the times, where we need to be able to look at our time and tell it where to go, tell it what we want it to be doing and how it can be working for us, versus just living a day and next thing you know, the day's over, the week's over, the month's over, the year's over, and you don't know where any of your time went. So keeping an activity log and knowing where you're spending your time can be such a valuable resource and a valuable tool to know and to then better manage your time. And then number 2, my number 2 time management hack for moms that a lot of people don't like when I say, can be quite controversial, but it's to rise before your family. And this is something that before I was a mother, you could never wake me up before anyone else in the home. Anyone had been up for multiple hours before Sasha was awake. And I even have this plaque somebody gave to me that said marathon sleeper that I like put on my door. But in rising before my family, 10 minutes before my family, now I'm like 3 to 4 hours before my son wakes up, I'm trying to wake up. That gives me time for me in the morning, time to go to the bathroom alone, time to gather my thoughts, time to spend time with the Lord in meditation or prayer, time to work on my business or pursue a hobby that I'm doing. Sometimes I even wake up just to take a bath for 2 hours and nobody is home bothering me and my son is sleeping, which is rising before your family. I think there's so much that goes into your mindset for the whole day when you do that versus when you wake up to a child saying, "Mommy, wake up," or crying or jumping in your bed. It's just, you seem to start the day off in reactive mode. Whereas when you rise before your family, again, even if it's just 5 or 10 minutes to have a minute to collect your thoughts, wipe the sleepies out of your eye, it's a huge tip that I love to share with moms about living a better mom life and managing your time well. Number 3 is to establish a morning routine. Routines and rituals can be so helpful to get like our mind, body, and soul all on board and all together when we're pursuing something. And having this morning routine where every morning, you know, you're gonna go to the bathroom, you're gonna wash your face, you're gonna brush your hair, you're gonna drink your coffee, and you're gonna take your supplements or whatever it is for you. Try to have at least 3 things that you do every single morning that makes your whole being be on board with, hey, we're starting the day now. And so it gets your sensories on board, it gets your thoughts on board, it gets your emotions on board, and just brings everything together. So morning routine is super, super huge. from me. And then number 4, this is something that's included in the planner as well. And it's to state your daily intentions. And I always encourage moms to do this as part of their morning routine or even as part of their evening routine before they go to bed. But to state your intentions, 3 most important things that you can do today for yourself, for your family, to reach your goals, whatever it is. Even if it's just, you know what, today I want to watch a movie with my son, I want to play with him on the floor, and I want to cook my family a healthy dinner. If those are your intentions for the day, that's awesome. If your intentions for the day are, I want to publish my planner, and I want to, sign a new client, and I want to clean and organize the whole house, if those are your intentions for the day that you feel like you're able to accomplish, just state them, write them down, verbalize them, put them on a dry erase on your mirror, whatever works for you. But just to again, keep your mind focused on what you have for yourself for that day. Number 5 is to only touch things once. And a great example that I love to use for this is when my son was younger, he would eat in his high chair, and a lot of times I'd wipe hands and face, the high chair, and I just put the tray right aside. And then the bananas are getting, cemented basically onto the tray of his high chair. There's food everywhere, all over the floor and all of this stuff. Well, my philosophy and only touch things once is, well, when I'm getting him down, I already have the rag to clean his face and hands. I've already touched the high chair. Go ahead and just take that to the sink and wash it off really quick. It takes 30 seconds. And then go ahead and sweep up the floor. So you're only touching this whole meal aspect once. And now it's off the plate. You're not sitting there looking at that mess thinking, oh, I still need to do that. Oh, I still need to do that. It really weighs on us mentally and can clutter our mind space. So we're not being as effective or as efficient as we could be throughout the day. Number 6 goes in line with this, and that's if it takes less than 5 minutes, do it now. Laundry is a huge example of this. So many times we can put the laundry in the dryer and then do the whole laundry transfer, and then we just throw the laundry from the dryer into a basket on the bed on top of the dryer, and then it becomes this mountain that's this huge weighing task on us that is going to take us, well, now we have 30 minutes or now we have an hour worth of laundry to do. Whereas if you just take the 5 minutes and do it right then and there, fold it and put it away, it takes 5 minutes or less, but now it's off our plate. It's not weighing on our mind. Same thing with the food routine with the son I was just talking about. You just touched it. Only touch it the one time and just get it done. So many times we can tend to procrastinate or turn to put out a different fire or whatever it is. And just getting these things done and out of our mental space can be so freeing. And then number 7 is to keep multitasking in its proper place. I think many of us, we know multitasking is truly a fallacy. You're never actually doing anything well when you are multitasking, but I do believe that there's a place and a time for multitasking. For example, when I'm doing the dishes, I can listen to a training or a podcast. Same thing when I'm driving in the car with my son. I always turn his little music CD on that one back speaker near where he is, and I put my earbuds in and I'm listening to a podcast or a training or personal development, whatever it is that I have. And so he's having his time, I'm having my time, I'm also driving. That's an example of keeping multitasking in its proper place. But obviously we don't want to be multitasking, doing something on our phones while we're playing with our children on the floor. They know that we're not fully present with them, and it can have long-term effects. So making sure that if we are choosing to multitask, it's in its proper place, and otherwise eliminating the idea of multitasking, because really all it's doing is taking something away from one area and trying to divide that focus into multiple areas. So those are my 7 hacks to time management and mom life and living really an effective and peace-focused mom life.
Fabulous. Really fabulous. I was thinking of a couple of things. First of all, I like the way you said intentions every day instead of a to-do list, because I know when you put down a to-do list, you put yourself under a undue pressure that I have to get this done. But if it's an intention, and that means I am going to accomplish this. It has a whole different mindset, a whole different meaning, rather than check this off the list. So I like that she did that with intention. And then you talked about multitasking. And it's like, yeah, you can multitask like doing the laundry, but if your intention was to sit down and play with your child, then you can make folding the laundry part of playtime.
Yeah.
And then
make it a game, or they can hand you the clothes to fold and
Right. So that way you're multitasking, but they're learning, but it's all playtime. So it doesn't seem like it's another chore that you have to do either. So that was one of the things I always did raising my kids was, how can we make things fun? And like the floor needed mopped. So the kids were wanting to run around and be wild. And I said, well, okay. So we put some soap and water on a hand towel and threw them on the floor, and they slid up and down the kitchen floor, and like, well, the floor's mopped and they're out of energy. So
perfect. Yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about. And I think so many of us adults now, we've lost out on the idea of playtime. So many things are like tasks to do, like you're saying, this to-do list, and it's overwhelming. But so many things, we can just convert that mindset to be focused on play, and it can really be fun, like mopping the floor and folding the laundry. Who knew that could be fun?
Right, exactly.
Kids know.
So thank you so much for those wonderful hacks. So when you came up with this list of different hacks and things, I take it you've learned it from all your own experience of struggling. Did you have a lot of experience with children before you became a mom?
I did. I babysat a lot. I went through the Red Cross babysitters training and was like a licensed babysitter with CPR certification and stuff at the age of 12. And kids have always been a huge part of my life, but I don't know that I would say any of this came from that. I think most of it came from my professional life and my degree program and my business experience in my career and in volunteer organizations that I was in, and really pulling on my strengths, but then also a lot of biblical knowledge. And then the stating the intentions thing actually came from my friend Ray Goldstein. She was a great mentor to me for a period of time, and she actually taught me that daily intentions activity. So just pulling from all these different areas of my life and realizing this is why motherhood has become a catalyst for me, instead of this place where I've lost my identity, I've lost my time management skills, and things where you see a lot of mothers in today's day and age going. I flipped the opposite direction and just sat down and said, okay, how and why? And that's where kind of this list had come from a little bit.
That's fantastic, because that also encourages women. It doesn't matter your business life and your motherhood life, they don't have to be separate, and you don't have to manage that in two separate worlds, because we don't need to bring all that extra stress on, because then we don't get to enjoy raising our kids. We don't get to enjoy even going to work if we're too busy trying to keep those worlds separate.
Absolutely.
So we don't have to learn new things in each place. Everything works together.
Yes. I'm so grateful that you said that, because I agree wholeheartedly.
And that morning routine is really, I used to clean the house in the middle of the night when the kids were in bed, just for peaceful time, and doing things by yourself is really important. That's that self-care, and that that you're not just a mom, you're not just an employee or a business owner, you're a person, and and that actually is first, because you're a child of God first, and then we add all these other things on that we can enjoy in life. But we got to take care of ourselves. So I'm glad you shared your 7 hacks with us today. And tomorrow we got Friends Day Fridays, and that's going to be our fun day. She's actually, her husband was in the military, and she's going to share with us a tea time story tomorrow. From when she was in England. So we'll have to make sure you tune in tomorrow. And I'm waiting to hear this story about tea time in England. I think it's always fun to learn new cultures and see how they do things in other places. So Thank you again for joining us on Try It Thursdays, and we'll see Sasha tomorrow. See you tomorrow, Sasha.
Thank you.